All right.
We got it started?
Let's
All
start.
right, well, thank you very much. Welcome to the Sheriff's Office Advisory Review Board for October 2025. It looks like we do have a quorum, and I'll ask Ms. Danette or Angela to call the roll, please.
I don't you want to or you want me to?
All righty. Matthew Ray,
Present.
William Walker. He's
Here.
here. I was like,
Present online, yeah.
Natalie Mason,
Did you guys get me?
James, we got you. James Stewart,
Present, ma'am.
Diane Layden,
Present.
Debbie Strongett,
Here.
let's see. Okay, Michael Wismer
Absent.
and Elena
Giacchi.
Giacchi.
Yep.
Absent.
All right. Is that everybody?
That's everything.
All right, well, looks like we do have a quorum, so thank you all very much for taking time to meet with us. So that was the roll call. Let's move on. We got a pretty packed agenda today. So hopefully I will do my best to try to get it going smoothly and efficiently, but also want to make sure, you know, we have opportunity to discuss what we need to discuss and everybody has a chance to contribute. So with that, let's move on to item number 3 on our agenda. Is the consent agenda, is approval of the minutes from our August 8th, 2025 meeting. Copies of the minutes were sent out by Danette a few weeks back, so hopefully you've had a chance to review them. Any motion to accept the minutes?
I so moved.
All right, we got a couple of motions and seconds. Okay, any discussion about the minutes? Any changes, recommendations, revisions? No? Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes as typed out?
Did you report a
Aye.
second?
Aye, okay.
Aye.
Minutes approved unanimously, so we'll move on to item number 4. There's nobody present for from the sheriff's office. The vice chair and I did meet with Sheriff Allen last month, and I will provide some updates about that meeting later on when we get to our committee updates. But he did inform us that he would not be here at this meeting because of the balloon fiesta, and most of their staff is out there doing that. So well, I'll give you some more updates later on in our meeting. Then next up is item number 5 on public comment. Don't see anybody present that's not associated with the board or anyone online. Did we
Nope.
get any inquiries, any public comments made?
None.
Okay, so no public comments, so we're moving right along just fine here. This is great. So then we're gonna go to the first item, number 6, as old business, an update on the League of Women Voters for the sheriff's candidate we discussed last meeting, and I think Dr. Layden wanted to provide an update. So ma'am, it's up
Thank
to
you.
you.
I spoke to Karen Wentworth, who arranged the sheriff's candidate forum in 2022 on Zoom. We're members of the same group. I will see her again on Monday. I sent her an email message. She's very positive. She said the League of Women Voters loves forums. Now, if you don't know, the league was formed in 1920 when women obtained the vote. So it's been around a long, long time. And it holds forums for all kinds of,
Were you there?
Karen,
Were you there in 1920?
no, I was not. I was born in 1943.
She missed it
Right
by,
here.
by
We're almost.
23 years.
If you want to give him a friendly smack him around there for giving you a hard time, feel
She
free.
does it all the time.
We're friends.
I know, I
Okay,
know.
we don't always agree, but we're friends, and it's very nice. Okay, so, I will see her again on Monday. Now, we're asking a year in advance. When we did this last year, it took 6 months to get it going, and it was in late October. That was fine. I'm hoping we can provide more advance notice. We had 96 people attend in 2022. I hope with more notice, we'll get some more attendance. I don't know. Of course, we don't know if we have more candidates. I believe Sheriff Allen will run for reelection. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much for that update. Any questions, comments regarding that topic from any other members of the board?
I have a
Mr. Spur?
tertiary question. This He's allowed 2 terms, is that right?
That's it.
Okay.
They have term limits.
Term
Two
limit.
consecutive terms. But
Consecutive.
then he
So,
could run out, he could
He could sit
stay
out
out
in
in
term.
term.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
gotcha that.
So Derek Gonzalez could
Right.
run again,
Oh.
actually,
Okay, interesting.
any former sheriff.
Okay. Any other comments regarding the League of Women's Voters? No, thank you, Dr. Layden, for your work on that. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Okay, let's move on to new business then. This is where I think we'll probably have most of our conversations and discussions. So item 7A, our temporary board liaison, Angela Montano, and I'm just going to turn the floor over to Danette and Angela. Let you all go ahead and introduce yourself and whatever administrative things that the board needs to know about the transition process. Before we do that, let me just say publicly, thank you, Danette, for all of your hard work and service to the county, to the citizens of our county, and to this board. I think you've been liaison to this board since the inception, if I understand, pretty close.
And then Crystal left.
Crystal Griego.
Yeah,
Okay, but for a while, you've been
but I've been.
You've been
3.5
attached to us.
years, almost
3.5 years. And so we ran you off finally. You're retiring. But no, congratulations and thank you for everything that you've done. And we do have a card here that I brought for members to sign. So we'll give that to you as a sort of a parting gift. But anyway, so thank you very much and welcome, Angela. We're ecstatic to have you part of our team and I look forward to working with you. So.
You guys will be in great hands. I worked with Angela for many, many years in different capacities. So she's really gonna be great to this board. It's just temporary. Just I put that in there so you guys know when my position gets filled, person filling my position will probably take on these duties because Miss Angela is a busy lady. She builds, I like to say she builds fire stations, but basically what she does is she runs the projects when new fire stations are set out. So she makes sure everything gets done with accordance with
That fire gets what they need,
yeah,
in these stations.
in accordance with what was on, the RFB and what went out and everything. So she does a lot of that stuff. So and has her hands full too. As far as transitioning, if you haven't noticed, Angela has been on the emails for the last 2 months. So that's part of that. And Julie has been notified, boards and commissions already knows everything that's going on. I did that right away, day one. So she has all the access that she needs. She has all their support. So basically from here, I will hand it off to her. And of course, she knows my private cell and she can call me at any time she wants. I'm still on conversion, so technically I still work for the county. Technically, but did they tell me?
Yeah, that's okay. That's what I heard. Yeah.
After that, I will turn off my phone. I'm just kidding. She'll be fine. She's great. She's been Angela, so you know a little bit of background. She knows a lot about the county, kind of like when you guys would always be like, you know a lot about the county. Well, Angela's too. She worked in the department, which used to do performance measures for whole county, and they were involved in meeting with every single department to see that they were meeting their performance measures and to also outline their performance measures and goals for the year. And then they would be the department that would ensure or make sure we're meeting goals or why they're not meeting them, what the justification was, and then all those stats and data, they would report it on a system that would go out to the whole public and to the county. So she knows the whole county too.
Yeah. I did have the opportunity in that department to learn a lot about the county since we did touch every department. So that was nice, especially just coming in at that point. Before the county, I worked for Cardinal Health. I was in the accounts payable department, supervisor in that area for the pharmaceutical division before they outsourced our jobs. So that's all I'm going to say about that one. Coming into the county though, I kind of wish I would have started here. It's nice to be able to see and understand what the county does for the public. So moving on to public safety was also something that kind of surprised me. I wasn't sure what I was getting into. I knew that it would be like managing projects and things like that, but it's nice to be in the public safety division to be able to support those men and women in those visits. So it's been an eye opener. And now I'm here with you guys. And we'll see if it's temporary or not. It's supposed to be, but you know how things go. Depending on who takes her position, we'll see what happens.
So our challenge is to do an exceedingly good job to keep you here, right? That's challenge accepted.
Welcome and thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, was that all that you had? And I'll open it up to the board for any comments or welcoming.
Matt, if I could just get a few more sentences on temporary status, I know what temporary means, but what does it mean in this setting? That you
In
could
this,
be here for a month or two, they could hire someone to go into her position, and then that's the person it would be, you would say goodbye.
that's right now, that's what they're saying. But as you know, temporary and this,
We've worked for the county long enough. It could be 6 months. It could be,
a year, or it may never happen. I may stay.
they don't.
Right now, we're being told it's temporary and the person that takes her position will have this duty.
Okay,
Thank you.
so are you applying for that position?
No, she is that position. And I have the same, we are both special projects coordinators.
Okay.
I mean, she could, but I don't know.
So don't get too
What does that mean,
attached.
going from that office to this office?
Gotcha.
No, more importantly, just behave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Hill spot.
So that wicked sense of humor always gets me. in trouble.
Okay. You've got to try to.
That's funny.
Yeah, we were both have the same title under public safety,
Gotcha.
the top umbrella.
Okay,
Public safety.
Very good. All right. Well, perfect. Thanks. Well, if there's no other comments or regards with that, then we'll go ahead and move on to item 7B, discussion of the annual report.
Comment?
Yes, ma'am.
I have
Really?
comments about the annual report.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you give me a second? Can I give it just a couple introductory remarks and then I'll turn it right over to you? Okay?
Thank you so much.
You betcha.
Does anybody need one?
Yep, so that's the first item. Yeah, do we have copies?
Yes.
Perfect. So, so the annual report committee has met a couple of times and
I printed one.
as a result of that and the work behind the scenes came up with this first draft. You'll notice it has a different look and feel from previous versions. But the substance of the report remains the same in terms of recommendations and comments on in terms of what the board has accomplished throughout the year. And so the thought process was getting this into your hands as soon as possible to enable as much time to reflect and to comment and to discuss in the hopes that we would be able to have a final vote in the December meeting. That may be a bit optimistic. Of course, we don't have to have it per the ordinance approved until January, so we do have some time, but the hope was that we get it into the hands sooner so that we can have some substantive conversations and hopefully get it moving sooner rather than later. So that was the intent of that. I don't expect there to be a lot of really in-depth conversation about it today, although we're open. That's obviously anybody that has comments about it. But one of the things that we are proposing is to have a meeting in November, I think it's November 14th at 1 p.m. Solely to discuss the report. And at that meeting, we will certainly, that would be the sole focus of the meeting would be to discuss the report. But having said that, we wanted to put it on the agenda today and get it out in front of you for comments and anything that you have substantively that you'd like to bring up. So Dr. Layden mentioned you had some comments, so I'll turn it over to you, ma'am.
What I've seen so far looks good. I know committee reports will have to be added. Debbie, you included the link to the article from KOB about the drone award. It's in the report. It's on the last page.
Yeah.
KOB. That link doesn't work if you go to the link. So I went back to the original article and I'm going to ask that the annual report include this and that the sheriff's board send the sheriff a letter congratulating him on his award for disarming children of a gun and protecting their safety. Now, here is the article, and I will resend the link, Debbie, to that article from the article itself.
Fine, just send it to me, email it,
I'll
or
resend
email
it
it
to you.
to Danette or Angela,
Send it.
email to me, whatever you want to do, however you want to
Okay,
do.
I'll send it to both. I'll send it to Danette and Angela, but I'll send it to you with copies to them. So if somebody has a copy,
Fine.
Matt, if you'd like a copy, I'll send you one. too.
Is this for footnote number 6? Is that the link you're referring to?
Yes, but I think it needs a little more attention. He won an award for his saving those kids, for disarming those children. He won an award, and we haven't sent him a letter. I would like to mention that in the past, when Under Sheriff Thorin helped to rescue those people who are at the top of the mountain, from the mountain down to the ground, we sent him a letter. Judge Jewell wrote him a letter thanking the sheriff and Under Sheriff Thorin. He made numerous trips to get those people down from the mountain. So when the sheriff gets an award, I think the board should congratulate him in a letter, and the notice should be in the annual report. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right, any comments or remarks regarding that specifically?
Would that be like, sorry, a collective, like all of us together putting a letter together to say thank you or congratulations, or? is
Well,
that
it's
one-
from the board and it's from the chair. The chair sends the letter in our behalf. And if I'm not mistaken, we were listed as members on the letter. We're all listed.
Well, we're on the letterhead for.
Well,
So potentially you're asking for Matt to write up a letter on our
I'm
behalf
asking-
of.
As
Yeah.
it happened, I drafted the letter for Judge Jewell. I'm happy to draft a letter, but you're welcome to do it. Congratulating him on the award in behalf of the board.
So I think what I would like to do is to have that as a motion and a vote of the board, that we do that as a letter. I think it's a great idea, and a great suggestion, but I'd like to get input from the board.
I so move.
So let's move. Thank you, Dr. Lane. So we have a motion to send a letter to Sheriff Allen congratulating him and BCSO on the award, I believe by Axon, for the use of their drone in the incident involving the minor children with a firearm. Do we have a second for that motion?
I'll second it, William Walker.
Okay, so we do have a motion and a second to send an appreciation or congratulatory letter to Sheriff Allen. Open it up for discussion. Any comments, discussion? Concerns, Mr. Stewart?
Axon has a proprietary interest in this. I mean, they are the ones who provide the drone, the AI, the tasers, et cetera. So just want to make sure that we're looking at this with an arm's length. It's in their interest to put this award out there because they benefit from it. Not that the sheriff doesn't need to be recognized for using their technology, but as long as we do that, fully realizing that that's another piece to this other than just recognizing the sheriff. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying that needs to be part of the discussion, I think.
Commissioner Schlangen?
I think that's a really good point that Jim just made. Not to take away from, the award, but there is a proprietary interest. And so it's not quite the same kind of thing as the last letter of commendation or whatever, thanks that we wrote, but we can, we don't have to go overboard on this letter. I mean, just to congratulate the sheriff on having this recognition from the provider of the service. Or alternatively, we could simply mention it in the report, in the annual report under the artificial intelligence section and simply say, in addition to all the other things that the sheriff has done with AI, he received this award from Axon, the provider.
He was one of 6 finalists.
Any other comments, thoughts? Ms. Mason, Mr. Walker?
I'm good the way you guys want it.
Okay, that doesn't make it easy for us.
Yeah. Sunday.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of good comments there, but, you know, I think it's good the way it is, but if you guys want us, you know, I'm good the way everybody wants to make it happen, because I want to recognize his hard work and his effort, and I think it's something we should do.
Mr. Stewart?
It's, if you draft a letter, a piece of correspondence that takes into account their ongoing relationship, maybe part of the letter would be, recognizing him for adopting this technology and for fielding it. And as a result of what you've done, Axon Incorporated has recognized you for your efforts. Maybe that in your letter, so kind of point, we're recognizing both pieces of it.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, more of an emphasis on the work that BCSO did using the technology in the instance, more so than the award and the Axon, and
They made good use of the technology.
making good use of that.
I have a suggestion, and also Daniel's on board if we have any legal questions.
Oh, great. Hey,
So-
welcome, Daniel.
You don't even need to mention the company or anything,
Alright.
just the use of technology, that he has had. You know, don't mention any, just thinking what, and I don't think it was the sheriff so much, there was some sheriff deputies that were actually
Right.
involved in it, and that's who you should be sending the letter of recommendation to. Because it wasn't the sheriff that did it, it was them that using technology
Well,
were
then-
able to go in there and do their job.
Yeah.
Okay. if
So
I
let me go to Ms. Mason real quick. You had a
I think that
comment?
Esteban has a comment first.
Okay, go ahead, Esteban.
I think I concur with Danette that one approach may be to write the letter, to the sheriff thanking the deputies and not mentioning the brand, or mentioning the brand quickly, but that would be not being kind of duped into the promotional. I mean, it's not a trick, but it is a tactic for them to promote their brand. And so if we de-emphasize that and just focus on the good work of the sheriff, that would be one approach to deal with it.
Ms. Mason?
I guess I don't want to say completely hesitant, but I feel like it was collective. It was a group thing. Yes, the sheriff is getting it, but like Danette said, it was the deputies that were out there too. So making sure
Can you speak
But-
louder?
the technology and the AI was there, but the personnel that were on the ground, I think we need to make sure we're appreciating them and showing that letter goes to them too.
Okay,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Layden.
When I wrote the letter for Judge Jewell about under Sheriff Corrin, I asked for a list of all the people who got those people down from the mountain, and all those people were named in the letter. So we can ask the sheriff's office for that list of who all did this. We can name them. And letters went to them as well in their files. We asked that a copy of the letter be placed in the files of these people that contributed to that effort. It was huge. It was a couple of Januaries ago. Cold winter.
All right, well, so we have a motion and a second to draft this letter. Any other conversation, discussion before we vote on the motion that is on the table?
You can run the draft by Daniel if you want to, our lawyer. You can run it by him.
Right, well, we gotta first pass the motion to agree that we want to send a letter, and then from there we can discuss how to proceed following the vote. So any other conversations, discussions, comments regarding the motion on the table?
I just want to be clear that what we're voting on is a letter that would be addressed to the sheriff, possibly recognizing the people involved in this situation. But I wouldn't support sending letters from SORB directly to staff, even if it's under sheriffs, like our communication is basically to the sheriff's office. And we can name them as Dr. Layden pointed out, as was done in the last letter. And that, so I just want to be clear what we're voting on.
Okay, I would simply add that we can ask the sheriff to place a copy of the letter in the files.
That's fine.
The people who did the,
I just want to clarify that if we're voting to send a letter, what we're voting on is sending the letter to the sheriff mentioning the staff involved in the situation.
Right.
sounds good.
That's my understanding of the
Okay.
motion on the table. Yeah.
Okay.
So the motion on the table is that the SOAR draft a letter addressed to the sheriff with congratulatory comments regarding the use of technology recently. So that's the motion. Any other comments? Okay, so I'm going to ask for a roll call vote on this. So Ms. Danette or Angela, would you mind calling a roll call vote for this motion, please?
Matthew Ray,
Yes.
William Walker,
Yes.
Natalie Mason,
Yes.
James Stewart,
Yes.
Diane Layden,
Yes,
Debbie Strongen.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes unanimously. So
thank you.
what I would like to do is we're not quite off topics, it's not
Yeah.
necessarily related to the annual report, but what I would like to do is open up for comment or recommendations from the board. What my initial thought would be is to draft a letter and have that circulated to the members of the board. Just throwing an idea out there. I just want to make sure that I'm encompassing whatever concerns the board has, but also recognize that that could end up in a, circular thing where we never get anything out because so many people can't agree. So
Right.
I definitely just want to get some input from the members of the board before I, as chair, take, any action to carry out the wishes of the board on this matter. So having said that, I'll just open it up to any comments or suggestions on that. Or if you're completely okay with me just drafting something and sending it out, I mean, I'm happy to do that. I just want to be mindful of, the various views and perspectives of the members of the board. Mr. Stewart, go ahead, sir.
I believe that you're empowered to draft this letter, and if you want input, we'll provide it to you, but otherwise,
I think so, yeah.
I think we made it pretty clear as to what we'd like to have in there, so.
Dr. Layden?
Why don't you send your draft to us and let us reply? Are you willing to do that?
Okay.
I have a
Well, that-
question on that, and Daniel, can you chime in on that? If they're sending a draft for everybody to comment, will we run into any open meetings
Good
act?
feedback.
Right.
Okay,
Yes, you'll run into rolling
Oh, yeah.
quorum if it's every member of the board. So the way we did it when Judge Jewell and Dr. Layden wrote the letter for the passing of Larry Corn, I believe they wrote the letter and they communicate, so treated it like a subcommittee. So only the chair, the person who writes the letter, and they send it to legal as well. But just be cognizant of that.
okay.
Okay. All right.
I
Commissioner
just,
Crockett?
yes, I would like to say that I have complete confidence in the chair's ability to draft this letter. I don't feel that I need to review his work. I've worked with him on this annual report. His contributions are obvious in the nature of the report. He's an excellent writer, and I just don't think that having this round robin of comments is going to be productive.
Sounds good.
Chair,
Any other-
For it.
Elena has just joined.
Oh, welcome, Ms. Giacchi. It's good to see you, as it were, virtually.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still having problems with Microsoft Teams, but I was finally able to join through a secondary way, so I'm glad to be here.
Perfect. Well, thank you. We're glad to have you. Thanks for joining us. So, okay, so any other comments on that then? All right, so I think my marching orders are pretty clear. As chair, I will take the initiative to draft the letter. And that'll be that. So, okay, all right, so back to item 7B on the agenda, which is a discussion of the annual report. So any other major substantive things that you'd want to mention? Again, as I said, we'll want to talk about having another meeting in November solely to discuss in depth the report. The purpose for today is just to get a general overview of the topics that are in there and any major substantive things that you can think of off the top of your head that you'd like to comment so that we can be thinking about in preparation for our November meeting. So with that, the floor is open to the board for general comments, discussion regarding the draft annual report. Mr. Stewart.
The compliance officer P7, is it possible to maybe throw in a sentence or two in there as to what that position does?
Oh, you're asking me, or do you want to? When we met with the sheriff, we requested that he give us additional information when he can on the specifics of that position. And he said that he will, and he also said that he may actually be able to send the compliance officer to our either December meeting or January meeting. He's hoping to do that. So I think probably just given the timing, that would have to go into next year's annual report. But if we do get the information
Well,
in enough time, then yeah,
did we get the job description? 'Cause
not yet. We
when
don't
I
have,
represented y'all at the interview board, the job description was not correct.
right. I remember you saying that.
So there's not been,
That was back in August.
I mean,
or
if we could
July.
just plug out a sentence or two, that's all I'm saying, because we're giving him accolades for a
Right.
compliance officer, but it's like, so what?
So if I could just add some context to it. So I think in the draft report, I think we make a statement or two about our anticipation of getting more detail from the sheriff.
Okay.
And that it would be something that would be an ongoing review that would carry over into next year.
Gotcha.
And the reason for that is to what Vice Chair Strongman was saying, which kind of ties into the updates that we'll give you here in a minute with our meeting with Sheriff. But that was one of the things that we asked him for, was clarification on job descriptions. And so he wasn't at that time prepared to give us anything, but did indicate that he would invite her to the December meeting to introduce her, and that he would provide that level of description
So it's a,
down the road. So the request has been made.
okay.
The request has been made, I guess is what I wanted to.
So if I may direct a question to add, or HR for Burn Code,
Mhm.
is it responsible for job descriptions for everybody,
Yes.
including elected officials,
Everybody.
employees?
Mhm.
So, I mean, could we just reach out to?
You can just actually go on,
HR?
you can just go on the website. There's a public website, I think, that you could pull down the job descriptions. If not,
What website?
the Burn Co. website
So the,
Where in the website?
under HR in the website.
It's more complicated than you know, going to the website. So can we get a link?
I will send you their HR link and you guys can
Send
go.
it to Jim.
I'll send it to Jim.
Okay, please.
yeah, so the description that we were provided during the interview process, I think that came from HR. So I'm not sure if if HR would have been updated. I think what,
He's probably working with, that's why it's taking longer.
Right.
He probably wants some stuff
Yeah.
added to the job description. So with that, then he has to work with HR, send his recommendations. HR will vet it,
Gotcha.
and then they'll finalize it, get it signed, and then
Gotcha.
it'll be an official.
Okay.
So right now, they might be in the works of that. So even you going to the website and pulling down one might not be the
Gotcha.
latest agreement.
Okay, do the job descriptions have dates and,
I don't know,
I mean, how will he know if he's gotten the final description?
you'll know because they
Well,
usually sign off on them, but that's an internal process,
So-
and that would be a whole different.
Vice Chair Strong, go ahead.
Well, I think that one of the things that the sheriff emphasized when we spoke with him was that this is an evolving position.
Yeah.
So while there are certain definite responsibilities, the person who was hired as the compliance officer is also, she's doing audits of multiple past and present BCSO operations, such as, you know, the DWI scandal, the Route 66 crime prevention, you know, all of these different things. And so it's expanding, and I think they're probably waiting to get more ideas from the compliance officer as to what her portfolio actually will be. So that's, I mean, that's why I think it wasn't that he wasn't really prepared so much, the sheriff, as that it just hasn't been finalized yet what her, you know, the range of her responsibilities.
No, I got you. I do. I just thought, to beat
I'd
a
look
dead,
for-
not to beat a
look
dead
for-
horse to death, but you know, we have a paragraph giving him kudos for doing this, but we don't really say what it is.
Hmm.
We're implying, I think, that people would know what a civilian compliance officer is.
Well, we could,
If you would like, you participate in the interview, if you would like to draft a couple of lines and,
Yeah,
and send that
Yeah,
to us, we'd be happy to incorporate that into
that's
the
something for you to think.
annual report, yeah. Okay, any other?
well, just we can, you know, we can certainly say if we want to, I guess. The sheriff told us that that the compliance officer is, at the time that we met with him, which was in September, that she was compiling a dashboard to follow multiple issues.
Okay,
And as well as doing audits of multiple past and present operations of the sheriff's office. And the things he mentioned specifically were the DWI scandal, the Route 66 crime prevention operations, deputies' attendance at court dates, judicial bail actions, and relating to BCSO cases, and deputies' compliance with body worn camera requirements. So those were the things he specifically mentioned. I think there are things that are confidential that he's not going to mention. So, you know, it's a very broad position in terms of that.
I got you.
Okay.
I think this is probably one of the areas that will be an ongoing collaborative sort of interaction with the SORB, and it's something I anticipate we'll continue to ask questions about and seek you know, additional information as that evolves. Would be my guess. It seems like that is something that's of interest to the SORB and probably will be as certainly as, you know, things progress.
Yeah, you know, if I might, in some respects, it parallels our efforts. SORB's supposed to do writ large, you know, within the sheriff's office itself. This person is kind of looking at those sorts of similar sorts of things as to what we look at.
Yeah,
I think it's good. No, I think it's good. Don't misunderstand any of my comments here. I think it's great that they did this. It's just to flesh out this paragraph. That's all.
I can give you the notes from that meeting,
Okay.
that, you know, just on that topic. It's,
And y'all actually use the word scandal?
well, I don't know, it may have been my DWI
No.
situation, investigation.
Okay,
Capital S.
any other sort of substantive type comments? I will say, I think you'll notice, and I think it's just reflective of, you know, the things that have transpired this year. There hasn't really been a lot of substantive
No, there hasn't.
policy related things the board has done, right? It's been really a year of transition, right? With Judge Jewell transitioning off, and so we really haven't had a lot of substantive things to actually review. And so I think you probably see that a little bit reflected in this report to try to include the things that we did talk about. But also to kind of highlight and honor Judge Jewell. I think that's in there as well. And sort of highlight, you know, what our plans are, what we anticipate going into the future. So it is a little different look and feel than what prior reports are. So I just wanted to kind of provide some context there. Of course, this is the SORB's report, so it's open to change however the board wills, right? This is just the annual report committee's, you know, presentation of the first draft. So, any other substantive comments? Not hearing any. I do have a couple of questions I want to just point out so that we can incorporate them for the November meeting, and we'll talk about the November meeting. But so on in the forward, we want to just make sure we reflect the accurate dates for you, Danette, in terms of how long you've been serving the board. So that's on there. We now know Miss Angela's name, so we'll include that in there, albeit temporary. Do you want me to add? I can certainly modify the forward to make sure it's temporary. We put your name and then not, they may seal the deal for you. So we'll do that.
We'll do a lowercase too.
Lowercase t. I will, in the chair's update, when we get to committee updates, I'll talk a little bit more about this, but the section on there about doing an op-ed, that didn't end up going, it wasn't published. So we're gonna take that out of the forward. So I just wanted to throw that out there. On board member bios, there on page 5, we're in need of a bio from one of the board members. So if you can send that to the chair or the vice chair, we can include that in there. That would be great. And I think that is it. So if there are other comments, let's move on. So I put out there in an email a few months back about calling a meeting on November 14th at 1 p.m. And so we'll plan to have that meeting again solely to discuss the draft. What I would maybe ask for the annual report committee, Mr. Stewart, Ms. Strongen, and myself, we can kind of incorporate some of the minor changes that we discussed today and then send out draft number 2 to the SORB before the November 14th meeting, and then we can meet and discuss substantively. So that'll be our plan. Any questions, comments, major concerns about meeting on the 14th? Okay, perfect. All right, well, let's move on then to item number 8 for committee updates. So I want to just start off, if I can, just to give some brief updates from the chair and vice chair's perspective, just in terms of activities that have transpired since our last meeting. You will probably have received a couple of emails from Mr. Vasquez a while back on some of the efforts that he and I were working on to get the message out about the SORB. Specifically, we did a recording on the Burnco beat. It was about a 3-minute recording, just talking about the SORB and inviting people to sign up on the website to speak, to join our meetings and that kind of thing. So that went out to you. Hopefully you had a chance to see it. We also recorded a welcome video and put that on the SORB webpage. So if you go to our SORB page, you'll see there a YouTube video, me just, welcoming people, telling a little bit about the SORB and just kind of giving a little bit of a different look and feel, tangible thing for people to see, as opposed to just reading. They actually have a visual and a video. So that was something that, thank you very much, Mr. Vasquez, for your help on all of that and getting that done. Very, very good job doing that to you and the Bernalillo County communications staff. So please, relay our thanks and gratitude for that. Anything that you'd like to say on that, Mr. Vasquez? I did draft an op-ed piece and submitted it to the Albuquerque Journal. Again, in the same vein, just explaining what the SORB is, talking a little bit about our work, inviting the public in to provide comment. Unfortunately, that wasn't published by the Albuquerque Journal, and Mr. Vasquez had sent it out to a couple other venues, but we didn't really get much response. So I'll turn it to you, Mr. Vasquez, if you have any other comments or context you'd like to provide the board in that regard.
You bet. Well, just thank you. I just want to say that to thank you for your initiative and for your efforts. You worked hard on it, and that's why the work product looks as good as it does. And on the op-ed, I want to say that I haven't given up yet. I'm going to make one more try to see if we can't get it in a publication. And just to inform the board what I said in the email to you, I just think that there's so much going on right now that it's difficult to get in there, because there's so many things happening nationally and locally that given the way things are going with BCSO and with the board, It's just not, it's not a fire, and the opposite. So right now, people are focused on things that are happening, that there's upheaval happening, and people are focusing on that's what the news media is focusing on. So hopefully we'll be able to, I'll resubmit it, and we'll get it in there, and before the end of the year, someone will publish it. And thank you for your efforts and your initiative in making that happen. And thank you to my colleagues who helped in the studio there at BCTV and elsewhere, who helped get the message out. So thank you.
Thank you very much. It's the old adage, if it bleeds, it leads, and there's nothing bleeding, and that's a good thing, right? There's nothing bleeding here in the store. So that's actually good news. Dr. Layden, go ahead.
Yeah, did you get it into the journal? Because the journal has a new opinion editor. It's Ryan, R-Y-A-N, Boetel, Boetel. Is that who you sent it to?
Yes, I did send it to him and also to Jay, who I think is out on maternity leave right now. That's right. But I didn't send it just once, but I also followed up, and I did not receive a reply to that. So I don't know what the explanation is, but I could try again, and that's what I intend to do.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Anyways, thank you very much for that. Again, the intent is just to get the word out to the public about the SORB and what we're doing, the good work that you all are doing on this board. And so maybe we'll get some traction in the new year, but we'll keep at it. Okay, and so the other next big thing, which you've already kind of alluded to, was our meeting with Sheriff Allen and his staff. And so thank you. The vice chair just hands me the note to, you want me to do it? Okay, I certainly welcome to. There's a lot of things that we discuss. One of the things that we talked about, so we had reached out to ask for a meeting in part because of the change and transition of chairs this year. As well as it just been a while since we, had an opportunity to sit down with the sheriff. And so we reached out. Scheduling conflicts kind of delayed it a bit, but we were ultimately able to meet on September 2nd. The vice chair and I, and Danette was present as well, met with Sharon Allen, Under Sheriff Williamson, Under Sheriff Anderson, and Major Burke. It was a very good meeting. As I said in my brief email update to you a few weeks back, the general consensus or takeaway was the sheriff's office remains committed to working cooperatively with the SORB and is overall supportive of the SORB and appreciative of the work that we're doing. One thing that was highlighted, which is not a surprise to anyone on the board, was he did express a concern about just a reminder that the SORBs, it's an advisory and review board, right? We're not an oversight board. We can't tell the sheriff's office what to do. We can't dictate what to do. We have limited authorities per the ordinance. And so he did want to just kind of reiterate that he wanted to make sure that that wasn't sort of the intent of the board, and I of course reminded him that that was not the intent of the board, and that we fully understood our lane within the ordinance. And but anyway, so I just wanted to put that out there again, not so much for the board's consumption, but for the public's knowledge who may be watching this video down the road, just to understand what the role of the board is. We are advisory and review board, not an oversight board, and so that's one of the things that he had communicated to us. So I'm not going to go through really in depth of all of the things that we talked about. The sheriff, I think, will be here at our December meeting, is what he had mentioned to us. He was going to try to make it here. And so, of course, we can ask him questions. He's always open to taking questions from the board and is generous with his time. So I anticipate that will be the case. There are a few things that we talked about that came up from the Policy and Practices Committee. And for that, I'm going to turn over to the Vice Chair Strong. And who is on that board, if you could just give us some updates on the three specific questions that we asked from the sheriff. Categories of topics were question on internal affairs, AI use policy, the civilian compliance officer position descriptions that we discussed earlier. And then I believe it was board member Mason who identified at the time an issue with the online SOP that was not working. You brought that to the board's attention. We brought that to the sheriff's attention within a matter of days or so. They had corrected that. So those were the four sort of main points that we sent to him ahead of time as conversation pieces. But of course, we talked about, a range of other things as well. So Vice Chair Strong, and I'll ask you to provide some input as well, please.
Well, one of the issues involving internal affairs that the sheriff actually brought up was that he is, despite the fact that he is embracing the use of AI very carefully, very cautiously from, an impressively careful stance. He's aware of the abuses that it can be used for, and he's extremely sensitive to the issue of not using IA investigations in a retaliatory manner. So that's actually, I'm mixing up two things, because internal affairs, he's sensitive to not using the mechanism for internal affairs investigations for personal revenge, to not use it properly. And he feels that he actually in the past had been the target of the improper use of internal affairs investigations. So that was one thing he mentioned. Jim and I, who are on that committee, raised the issue that I don't know that he was thrilled to hear about it, but that the SOP gives the sheriff the exclusive right to authorize internal affairs investigations. And that is, even if the complaint involves the sheriff himself, the sheriff is still, under the rules, the person who has the exclusive authority to decide whether or not he should be investigated. And that can,
It's a conflict of interest, yes.
it can appear to be a conflict of interest. It's not necessarily a conflict of interest. Anyway, what the sheriff said when we raised this issue was that he understands the concern, and that first of all, he said, that the public can review his performance every 4 years, but that's the same thing Sheriff Gonzalez said, and it's not necessarily the best or most immediate form of review, nor does it involve any investigatory powers that the public has to do that. But he also said that his practice has been to create layers of accountability, and that's how he put it, by consulting with senior staff and deciding whether to authorize internal investigations, and that would apply to a complaint involving himself as well. So he has instituted a practice where there is automatically going to be consultation, but he still is in charge of that practice. There's no independent person you could go to within the organization if you had a complaint about the sheriff himself. So from my view, that remains a concern, but I do feel that the sheriff has addressed it and is sensitive to the issue. He also pointed out that he has certification under CALIA, which I can't remember what that.
CALEA.
Commission for the accreditation law enforcement agencies.
Yeah.
And so that adds another layer of professional credentials to his handling of law enforcement issues. And again, that's a broad thing, but he pointed that out in response to that concern. So I think that was the gist of the SOP
May I ask
request.
a question?
Mhm. Yes.
Okay, will you include this in the annual report about the sheriff having authority over internal affairs, and that would include a complaint against the sheriff, and that sort has a concern, what the sheriff has said, given he's aware? I think it's worth mentioning, because I think what could happen is people will go to the county commission, although they don't have authority over him.
Right.
He's an independent elected official.
Exactly. So, and we did raise this under the prior administration as a concern. And the sheriff is aware of the concern, but it is what it is.
I hope you'll mention it in the annual report. That this concern exists. And that it goes back to Sheriff Gonzalez and the start of the board.
Well, it doesn't just go back. That's always been the rule.
Okay, but Sword has been here since 2020. And I'm glad you mentioned it to Sheriff Gonzalez.
I'll have to discuss it with my fellow committee.
Yeah, so,
Mr. Chair, if I might, just
yes, Mr. Stewart.
add a thought to this. Part of my reaction to this is when the vice chair and I discussed it, is based on my own personal experience back in Texas. Of course, we didn't have a union, there's different personnel relationships within the sheriff's office in Texas. I don't think any of the sheriff's office have a bargaining unit. And in our protocols, the final decision rested with the sheriff, but it was not initiated by the sheriff. So there were certain things that I would pass to the internal affairs lieutenant who worked for me. I'd say, go forth and do, and then come back with your determination as to what transpired. And then I would make a recommendation to the sheriff as to, okay, based on this, here's what I recommend we do. And he would look at that and say, okay, let's do that. Or no, I don't want to do that. Go back and look at it some more, or, do something else with this person. And so I just was, me personally, not 100% comfortable with the sheriff sitting on top of the internal affairs and everything flowed through him. Because, this is what gets elected officials in trouble, is that they have friends in the agency.
It would protect him if he had.
And vice versa. I'm not so much worried about Sheriff Allen. It's the working stiffs out there encountering the public that might do something inappropriate. So anyhow, just
I mean,
try to keep it above board for him as these things do, because they do. Matt and I both know there's people out there that misbehave routinely, but no one ever says anything about it. But when they do, you want to have a mechanism in place to appropriately manage that process.
Yeah.
So,
It's about the next sheriff too.
would you like to draft that?
So,
Just a little addition to the annual report, and we can then evaluate, whether people want that included. I think we should also, if it's going to appear in here at all, it should. I think it's a pretty standard provision in a sheriff's office where it's an elected position.
right.
It's different if it's an appointed position, and then there's oversight. But I think we need to make that point also.
Yeah.
So let me, I guess, just remind the board that the report is the board's report. And the annual report committee just serves as sort of a clearinghouse and putting things together. So anybody can draft, insert language, send it to the annual committee report, or, consideration and inclusion. Ultimately, the board will decide. And as happened last year, we actually had to vote on whether or not we included certain things. So hopefully it doesn't, there are not a lot of issues that comes up, but with a board member of, 9 members, obviously we like to work through consensus, but sometimes we can't. So we have provisions that we've outlaid for that, but I just wanted to remind the board, this is the report from the board, not from any one or two individuals. So anybody can provide whatever language or comments they want to include there. If I may just take a liberty as chair, just to express just some concerns that I have with regards to topics that, from my opinion, should or should not be included in the report. One, I don't think we should include topics or issues that we haven't had an opportunity to give the sheriff advance notice and actually have a substantive conversation with him. I don't think that's fair to add. I'm not saying that that's happening, but that would be a concern, to add things in at the end, at the last minute, that we haven't really discussed or had an opportunity to give the sheriff adequate time to think about and reflect and provide a response. So that would be one thing. The other thing that have a concern of with certain recommendations, right? If we're making a recommendation, I want to make sure that the board has had an ample time to actually consider thoughtfully the issues and the topics. And I kind of see this issue as being one of them, right? It's a complex issue. So I would have some reservations just personally as a member of the board, making too many substantive statements about a topic that we haven't really researched and studied well enough, and get out above our skis, if that makes sense. So I just want to throw that out there as a consideration when we're thinking about what topics to include in the board. Have we actually spent the time to do the research and reflect on what best practices would be so that we could actually make a thoughtful recommendation? Because our recommendations are considered, right? They are viewed by many. And if we're not careful in our recommendations, I think it could really reduce the emphasis and the impact and the value of the recommendations that we do make. So I just wanted to throw that out there as just my personal opinion for thought. So
I agree with that.
all right. So any other comments? I think there were some other, I think we covered most of the substance that we talked about with the sheriff.
He confirmed that he wants requests for information.
Yeah, so that he did verify the mechanism that he prefers from communications from the board to come from the chair and the vice chair to him and to his executive staff, which was the board's practice. And so nothing really changed there. He did mention that he plans to do some town hall meetings, which he has done in the past. He's anticipating doing those next year. He did indicate that he wanted to or was considering inviting the SORB to attend some of those town hall meetings. We didn't talk at length about them. He just threw that out there as an invitation and letting us know that he had planned to do those. And so that's something as they come up, that will definitely be a topic of discussion for the board, whether we want to participate or not. My own personal concern is I want to make sure that the town halls are solely in his role as sheriff and not in his role as a candidate for sheriff, because it is an election year. And so I want to make sure that we're not attending a political type town halls. But again, we don't have to worry about that until the events happen and the invitations come, and then we can discuss whether it's appropriate for us to participate or not.
We
I
can
do want to throw
attend
that out
on
there.
our own as
And
citizens.
board members
I
can
have attended
absolutely,
town halls with him and the DA.
absolutely. Yeah, anybody can attend as a citizen, but this was a formal, not necessarily formal, but he was talking about inviting members of the board as the board. So, so anyways, I just want to be fully transparent, right, with the board and let you know sort of all the conversations we have. So yeah, this makes
And
sense.
when inviting, what capacity? That sounds very normal, just to kind of.
Yeah, it wasn't clear. Like I said, it wasn't something that we really fleshed out in length in conversation. It was just something that he had mentioned, unless of course Danette or Vice Chair Strong have a different recollection or anything on that topic.
No,
but-
he just, I think he said he was gonna do, at least, he was gonna do 2 town halls in 2026 in South Valley. And he said he'd let us know when they were scheduled, and that's all
Yeah.
that he really said. That he didn't know when they were gonna be specifically, or, and he just said he would keep this group informed of the dates. That's all.
And when and if he does, we can certainly ask all of those follow-up questions and make sure that we're.
I don't know if it was like something for us to like sit up and like, so we're there to oversight and like comments or anything, it's just like our presence. Is it just-
It'll be his town hall, but
Yeah.
if he invites you as guests, he'll probably have you sit there and say, and I have the SORB members here. It's usually
Okay.
what he does.
Don't say.
Or, yeah.
Yeah, and don't say oversight, 'cause, yeah, oversight.
So anyway, so that was one of the topics of discussion. Another one that I brought up, and I think I had mentioned it to the SORB in other meetings, was doing SORB meetings sort of outside of downtown. We talked about doing this meeting actually this month at the academy. But it didn't work out for various reasons, but we did talk about maybe doing a SORB meeting at the Public Safety Academy, which the sheriff's office is a part of, as well as
And fire.
fire and others, you know, it's not just sheriff's office. And one of the ideas, was in conjunction with that SORB meeting is perhaps have some presentations or demonstrations from the sheriff's office, particularly with the topics that we're talking about. So if the SORB is interested in drone technology, well, hey, why not have the sheriff's office give the SORB a demonstration of the drones and how they're using them and give us an opportunity to interact and learn more about it and ask those questions to educate ourselves. With AI, with the body cams, how they're using. So that was sort of one of the ideas, is have a board meeting, at the academy and then give an opportunity, for those types of presentations to have more of an interaction from the board that we can kind of learn more about how they're using these things. So it's better informing us on those things. So he was open to that and was willing to absolutely do that. So that'll be something to look forward to probably in 2026. So let's go, I think, a couple of comments.
I just wanted to add that he said that as far as giving us a demonstration or lecture, whatever, on AI and drones, that he believes that this will alleviate common concerns about privacy with the use of those technologies. So I think his orientation is very much to explain to the public and make it very clear that he is really taking steps not to use this technology in an intrusive or unconstitutional way. So.
And I think that's a lot of the concerns that some in the public have, right? I think we reflect that in our comments on that topic in the report. And so that would be an opportunity for members of the board, right, to ask those specific questions, to see for ourselves, how this technology is being used, what safeguards are being put in place, what policies are governing these things. So that would give us an opportunity to really ask those questions and learn firsthand. So in any event, look forward to that in the next year. So that's pretty much it that I have from the chair's updates. Let's go on unless there's any questions or comments that had.
There was just one small addition because Natalie had discovered that the SOP was not available on the sheriff's website at one time. And this was some kind of glitch that the sheriff didn't know about. And we notified Matt and Matt notified the sheriff and they immediately corrected it because it was not visible on their computers in their office. So the sheriff pointed to this as one of the examples of how willing VCSO is to cooperate with SORB and how effective SORB can be.
Maybe we could mention that in the annual report. Oh, no, a SORB member observed this and it was corrected. We did something useful. Why not? Why not?
Was this part of our oversight responsibilities?
We don't have oversight. But
Getting us into trouble there. Let's do it.
nobody is looking at the sheriff's website. We found this. And it was heavily in. And so why not say that? Why not give credit?
Because I don't think this is a giving credit kind of report.
It works, and that's, I think. I don't
You don't have to name her. How about simply saying that a SORB member observed? No? Okay.
I don't think it.
Thank you. I think we're proving our usefulness when we do that.
All right. So November 14th, Ms. Danette, I guess you won't be here, Ms. Angela. Do we have confirmation that we'll have a meeting place for the 14th?
Yes, I already did the chambers conference.
Okay, and then
That's on the first floor.
I'm not sure on the public notice, but you guys are experts, so you'll handle all of that for us.
Yep.
I'm sure. Thank you very much. So November 14th at 1 p.m., assuming it's in this building.
It is on the first floor.
So look forward to the updated draft report and the actual calendar invite for that meeting. So and again, we can have a lot more substantive conversations about what to include and things like that. So, all right. Any other committee updates? So we covered, I think we covered chair updates. We covered policy and practices pretty well. I think the only two that we did not cover just yet were the admin budget and the community engagement. And so let me turn it over to Dr. Layden, and Mr. Stewart and Ms. Mason, right? All three of you, I believe, are on the admin committee. So, Dr. Layden,
Okay.
updates from your committee?
Yes, we met on September 30th, and I sent a report to Matt and to Debbie about what was covered. We had a good meeting. We're meeting again on November 16th, and so we may have more to add to the annual report after that meeting. We did develop a list of our questions and comments. We'll talk more about that on November 16th. Now, do you see a need for us to meet as a committee before the 14th? To get you final, maybe we should meet sooner than the 16th. What do you think? Can you meet sooner?
Well,
Can I, well, if we're talking about the annual report on the 14th, and we may have contributions to that. I expect us to, so, okay.
So-
About that one.
We had set up a second meeting on the 16th, but we're meeting on the 14th. Maybe we can try to meet the first week in November. Is that possible?
I'm gonna do the second.
Okay, I'll send a message and we'll see if we can.
Yeah,
If we can, we will.
the committee is free to meet as frequent and as often and as you all decide. I think at some point for the annual report, at some point hit some deadlines in terms of how much can we actually include
Right, I
in
think
this
we should try to.
report. So,
Okay,
but anyways, I don't want to take from your update, but,
If I may, Professor, we just wanted to have a regimen of ongoing meetings for the committee. We kind of got out of that habit in prior years, so we just want to get together for an hour, maybe via Zoom, and just talk about the issues for which we are responsible. It's not so much providing input for the annual report. It's just what we're expected to do for this committee. So we could. stay
I'm
where we
gonna
are.
send you a message and let's try to meet before the 14th
Do
and
that.
finalize what we
Could certainly do that.
to say.
okay. Were there any, specific, I guess, topics that the committee is?
We have
is
topics,
looking at,
but I omitted the list from the first report because we're still talking about it. Jim did locate the budget information, and Natalie Ann located personnel information, but we lost track of the link. And so I'm asking, may I have permission? Or do you want to make the call to the sheriff's office, to the administrative people, to ask where that link is? It says that the sheriff's office has 457 employees, is that right?
457, yes, that's what their budget.
457, and 315 sworn officers. So we assume the remainder are civilians. But we wanted to confirm those numbers. They may be on the site, but they may not be current.
It's on the site. Everything is on the bird's eye view. How Laurie would see it, the spy camera. It's on there, and it's on your regular burn coat, and I sent you the budget ones, right? Yeah, the link.
Can you send me the personnel link?
The personnel link is called Burn Co View, and it's on when you go on Burn Co, the actual site. Up on the top, there's tabs that you drop down on. The last tab, if you drop down on it, it'll have the job descriptions. It'll have Burn Co View. What else? I don't remember either, but yeah, I'll resend you guys the link, but it's all on
I
there.
got it. I got it.
If you will send me the personnel link, I'd appreciate it.
I can drop down as far as it'll let me, and then from there you'll have
I
to
know, I'm
navigate.
writing it down.
I'll send it to all three of you, so that way you guys can navigate through it.
We're grateful. Thank you so much.
And that is public information for the whole public,
right,
okay? That's.
Yeah.
That one.
anybody
It's
can
out there.
access.
Anybody can access it, yes.
Okay, Mr. Stewart?
The org chart for the sheriff's office writ large, it is on the website, but my old eyes cannot take it out even if I pull it up. So
The Zoom link.
I don't know if that's something you could query the headquarters staff and get them to send something that's legible.
Okay,
Well, let's consider that a recommendation from our committee when we get together again.
Well, it'd be helpful for me to have that so I could talk to you.
Okay, I got it. Did you try the Zoom?
It's a source document.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's just me.
it didn't.
If I could
No,
print it out.
See, when you see it on screen, it is really hard to see and read.
Okay.
It's minuscule.
All right, Vice Chair Strong, I think you've been commenting here in a minute. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Did you have?
if anybody has anything, I think it's much more productive for our meeting on November 14th, that it's submitted in writing, so it
Yeah.
can go into something that's circulated in enough time in advance of that meeting for people to discuss. It's not, we're not going to do what's been very difficult to do in the past
Right.
unless there's some major breaking important development. I think just, sort of amorphously discussing a topic and then somebody writes it up and then, 15 people are making comments. It doesn't work well and it hasn't worked well in the past. So I think if anything is going to be submitted to the annual report, that should come in to me and or to Matt in the next, or to Jim. Yeah, actually, all three of us, in the next.
Jim or Michael? Michael's.
Oh, Michael, right.
board, yeah.
That's right.
Michael,
You're on
is-
that other
is he
committee.
still-
I thought I was on every committee.
Yeah, he was traveling.
All right, so any,
Well, just, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
I hear you. I'm writing it down.
Okay.
And we'll try to meet 2
Um,
weeks before the 14th and get you something by the 7th. Is that okay? November 7th?
Not really.
What is your
I would
drop dead?
like it by the beginning of November.
Okay,
Okay, I'll try.
And if it doesn't happen, there's next year's report.
Yeah.
There's interim reports that can be.
So for for requests to answer questions about making requests, like, yes, the way our procedures work as approved earlier this year, right, as committees have things that they want to make requests of the sheriff's office, they send them to the chair reviews them, decides which ones to include, when to include them, all of that. If of course the board disagrees with the chair's approval, then the board can move to have that go forward. And so that you can read through that in the process. So that's how the process is supposed to work. So I'd encourage all board members and committee members specifically to reread that, to see how we've agreed, how that process is to work. Certainly let me know if you have any questions. Send me whatever inquiries, questions you have for the sheriff. I'm mindful, I'm not gonna just blast one-off questions to the sheriff. I don't think that's efficient. I don't think that's fair to him. I also think that for purposes of the annual report, I think we are hitting a point in time where if it's not something we have substantively talked about to date on this board, it probably ought not to be discussed in length in the report, because we don't have substantive time to actually go through it. And so I want to just throw that out there, but certainly send me whatever you have and I will take that in consideration. So anything else from admin, budget committee? Sorry, no, okay. Community engagement committee, I believe, is Mr. Wismer. Actually, I think it might be the same folks as on the admin, right? Dr. Layden and Ms. Mason. So
Yeah, except for
anything?
Jim, it's on policies. Yeah, we didn't meet. We ended up, well, now Natalie Ann and Michael met.
We did, and we talked about maybe having a Q&A if possible, somewhere there. Maybe trying to get rid of each one of the districts if we can, to get out in the community in that sense, just to kind of ask and see what the community is expecting or what they want. Or what they're kind of asking of the sheriff and like what they expect of the SWORD's board. That's kind of all we went over, nothing in detail because we were missing.
I missed it.
Okay.
So we kind of just touched on again, if it's possible to do Q&As in the future. Something up?
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Okay, so that's all for committee updates. If there's not any other updates, there are two more sort of announcements, I suppose, that are a little bittersweet, but I will turn the floor back over to Ms. Strongen for the first announcement.
Okay, well, I'm resigning from the board effective March 1st of next year. And of course, I'll stay on for a reasonable time after that if they haven't appointed a replacement. But I think, I've been on this board since the very beginning, and now it's time to move on and time for the board to move on from me. So that's my announcement.
Well, thank you for your.
I'm moving that we don't accept that motion.
That wasn't a motion.
Well, I for one am grateful for your contributions to this board. You've been a member since its inception in 2020, and not just a member, but a vice chair several years.
Yes, since 2022 or 20, I don't know,
And
after the first two.
and a lot of hard work behind the scenes, some of which is known, a lot of it which is not known, but yeah, so you're gonna be sorely missed, I'm sure, certainly by me, but thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for, your service as vice chair during the time that I've been chair. You've been just an immense help. And so I'm going to miss that, but I'm certain there are other members that will step up, not to replace you, because you're not replaceable, but to succeed you.
Well, thank you.
Probably a better term.
Thank you, Matt. But, and I'm of course always available, whether I'm on SORB or off SORB, because I do have sort of institutional knowledge about the group. So anybody that, has a question or whatever, I'm always available to help out.
So any other motions to keep her from resigning? Any other board members want to make any comments or?
And I would like to say that I feel that with Matt as chair, the board is in extremely good hands. So.
Thank you. Any other members want to congratulate Ms. Strongen, as it were, I suppose? Congratulations. Yeah, okay. All right. Well, the other announcement is in the similar vein, and he is not here, but Mr. Wismer has announced his resignation from the board as well. And I believe his email to Danette was going to be effective December 1st of this year, although he did tell me that, just like Ms. Strongen did, that he's willing to stay on until the commission appoints a successor. And I think, to both of you, thank you very much for making that offer. And I think really it kind of Judge Tommy Jewell set the bar for that, because he stayed on for about 6 months. And so I know you all are trying to like, no, not 6 months, but it's not up to us. But in any event, so Mr. Wismer will be moving on as well. And he's been on the board for quite some time. So with all of that, obviously we thank Mr. Wismer, and when he's at the next meeting, I think in November, we'll properly give him his recognition when he's here in person. But so with that, we will have 3 vacant positions. Mr. Clark, who resigned earlier this year, is the vacant one currently, and then of course these 2. So we'll have 3 open positions on the board. So again, spread the word. Get the information out. Mr. Net's already done that with the county commission, so it's on their radar. And we'll continue to remind them and encourage them to do a replacement. So I think I saw Mr. Stewart. And
This is in the context of saying stuff about the vice chair.
Saying stuff about her.
Took me a while to formulate it. With a collegial group like this, we know there's going to be comings and goings. People come on the board for a period of time, and then they've made their contribution, and they have other things they'd like to do, and they need to move on. And we all understand that intellectually, but it doesn't make it any less painful to see you ride off into the sunset. So I appreciate the mentoring that you provide me. Debbie put her arm around my shoulders, or I guess around my waist, because she's really short. It kind of brought me along and answered all my questions. And we didn't have a formal mentorship program back then, so we were crafting one. But Debbie took me on personally, and it really helped me be successful in this role. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you for your kind words. And, I'll still be your friend. Goodbye.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, well, we're coming to an end, so the next item is number 9 on the agenda, announcement December meeting.
Wait.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, wait, you had, Ms. Net, you had a comment,
Not,
I apologize.
Mr. Chair, if any of the board members know of anybody that likes to be part of the board, have them send a resume to, I'd say me, but it's gonna be Angela.
Okay.
And that came from boards and commissions, and they're also posting it, but if you guys happen to know anybody, let them know. Angela's information will be on all the next agendas and everything to just kind of set it that
Okay.
way.
Perfect,
Thank you.
thank you.
I think they're just trying to help you guys out because they know you're coming to 3 vacancies to kind
Yeah.
of speed up the process, so.
Which I think if we don't get at least one, we might run into quorum issues, right? Or
No,
not
as
right.
it's, as you shrink
we
the
miss people,
quorum,
though,
yeah.
yeah.
If you miss people, you might run into having
Right.
meetings.
Okay.
I was gonna ask you if you're gonna continue the tradition of the holiday meal,
Oh, good.
holiday lunch.
That's a very good, it wasn't my tradition, it was the board's tradition, but I think Dr. Layden was really kind of the one that spearheaded that in the last couple of years.
Well, the board decided to have a holiday meal and I made the phone call to, Indian Pueblo Cultural Center. That's where we went before. We did it in December, before Christmas.
Would you be willing to
I'm willing to
coordinate that
do
again?
that if,
I would participate. I think other members,
if people
she
are
won't be
willing
here,
to
but-
come. Are you willing?
I
to
would be willing to come, yeah. If others-
Okay.
Yeah.
We chose a Thursday. Shall I look for well, now when is our December meeting? Let's do that.
Oh, what is the date? The second Friday of December is, it's on the calendar here. It's the agenda, let's see.
Second Friday, the 12th.
The 12th, I believe that's right.
Right, okay. Okay, if I set it up for December 18th, the following Thursday, let's get through the annual report. So the December meeting, let's not do it before. Is that okay? Okay,
I
I'm
think
gonna
so.
look at
If
December.
somebody has
18th.
any major
It's a Thursday.
scheduling issues, yeah.
You're not required to. The staff is invited, but you don't have.
We just have to send.
We invite
public
you.
notice.
Yeah.
But you're not required.
Right.
No, we just have
More
to send
work.
out public notice.
More work for you to do.
Holiday lunch.
Yeah, and Matt will pay for your lunch.
Oh, okay then.
With Jim's credit card. Absolutely. Thank you for reminding us of that, and thank you for doing that. I think I had a wonderful time the last, I think I saw a lot of what I did 2 years.
It was
or maybe
good.
it's
It's good.
It was good.
A lot of fun, and I always get Vicky a Christmas present in their
Yeah.
old store there.
The food's good and the company is good.
Okay, so, so there is. So December 12th would be our next meeting after the November one, our next regular meeting at 1 PM. And then the holiday luncheon on the 18th. So
18th, let's try the
on the
18th.
18th.
I'll
Okay.
call them and ask.
All right, any last final comments?
That will be physically present for the 12th.
Yes,
It's not a virtual meeting.
well, it'll be hybrid, just like,
Okay.
yeah, but we'll.
That's when you need a vote for the annual report.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that would be, the plan is to have a vote
I got you. Okay.
at the December meeting on the annual report, if we can. If it gets delayed, it gets delayed. We don't, by the ordinance, we gotta do it by end of January.
We have to do that.
But yeah, but if we can get it in December, that would be, you know.
That way
would
you
be
can
good.
get it in the January agenda,
Yeah.
so the 12th.
So,
Yeah.
all right, any other final alibi comments? Mr. Walker, I think you're on mute, sir.
Hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I want to make sure the meeting on November the 14th, that's the normal meeting or is that a special?
Can't hear.
Speak a little louder.
Okay, and then the one December 12th, we were saying?
Yeah, so November 14th, that's the meeting solely to discuss the annual report. And then December 12th is our regularly scheduled bi-monthly, every other month meeting. I don't know how you say that, but yeah. And then December 18th,
Bi-monthly.
yeah, bi-monthly, yeah. And then the December 18th is the tentative date for the holiday luncheon, which is, voluntary. So it's not, not required, obviously, but
Can't hear you.
Probably.
Can't hear you.
One on January, yeah,
They don't know yet.
one on January,
No.
what time would that one be at?
They'll discuss it on the December meeting, I think.
Yeah, for the one on the 18th for the lunch.
Yeah.
Don't know yet. I mean, that'll be part of what Dr. Layden's gonna try to coordinate venue and time, but consider probably around the lunch hour, 11:30 noon, 12:30, somewhere around there.
Be back in February.
Okay.
Okay,
All right,
I'm good.
so thank you, sir. Any other final comments before we move to adjourn? Okay, so just one last comment. I do have the card for Ms. Danette. So I think there's only one member here that hasn't signed it. So if you want to sign it before,
Jim,
we'll,
Something clever.
yeah, put something clever. So.
I get off at 4:30, so.
All right, so that's it. Thank you all very much. I know this was a long one. We've covered a lot, but I really appreciate your time. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
All right, we've got a move and a second, and all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all
Aye.
opposed? All right. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you all very much.
thanks.
That I am turning off the recording. Yes, sir.
That's not,
Thank you.
that's not the
I mean,
email ID. It's just-
that's, you know.
Okay.